I'm basically talking halfway to you at this point because I'm still not important enough to have the ability to go live on YouTube. What the hell am I looking for? Alright. I worked in a pizzeria in 2007 called Bella Pizza. It's I believe it's in Blaisdell, New York. And one day I was walking to work to pinch pennies so that I could buy a ticket to a Bills game. And I made it a mile until, for some reason, I stopped in front of a Burger King and watched a woman walk off the sidewalk. And for some reason, she saw a car coming towards her. The only problem is it had no intention of stopping until it hit her. I couldn't believe what I was seeing when he crashed into her, because she was basically pinned behind a pickup truck and the front of his car. And I also couldn't believe that I didn't pull her out of the way because I wasn't 10 feet away from her. But for some reason, I felt like I was somebody in a car driving by watching the accident as opposed to being someone who was actually present there. So I live with guilt for that sometimes, but it wasn't my fault. So what are you gonna do? The guy who ran her down basically was on so many pills that all he could do in the back of the police car was stare outside of it blankly while people screamed at him and threatened to kill him. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. What made this farce even worse was that instead of just leaving her pinned between the vehicles until ambulances showed up, he put his car in reverse and she fell to the ground. So now she has one leg that looks like spaghetti. She's laying on the ground screaming out, "My baby, my baby, my baby," which I can still hear in my nightmares every once in a while. And I'm looking at her and I'm watching her slowly bleed to death, and there's nothing I can do about it because I'm frozen, and I don't know why, because I'm in my late 20s, in my physical prime, and I could easily, I don't know. But fortunately there was somebody there who was wearing a belt, and they put a tourniquet on her, and they ended up saving her life. I don't know what happened to her after I found out that she survived and she was gonna make it, but just with one leg instead of two. I just hope she's happy, to be honest with you. There was one time I was at a party once in probably 2000, and there were a couple of guys who were going and then holding their breath and then smacking themselves in the head with empty 2 liters and then falling to the ground and passing out. And I was like, what's the fucking point of doing that? And to this very day, I still have no idea what the fuck the point of doing that was. I don't know, maybe I got him high. I don't know, because you're getting knocked unconscious. Bet you some of those people have CTE. I'm of the opinion that you can triple stamp a double stamp, but I also don't know what I'm talking about, so don't take my word for it. Tucker Carlson is not an honest journalist. Nobody in the mainstream media is. And if you want proof of that, ask him questions that raise suspicion about 9/11, and you'll learn about Tucker Carlson's journalistic integrity pretty fucking quickly. So for all you people who think, oh, well, at least Fox News has real journalists. No, you don't. You just have controlled opposition. Congratulations. Why do you think Bill O'Reilly was allowed to be drunk on air for most of his career? Oh, man. Has anybody ever broken their toes? I did once in 1999. I almost killed myself accidentally, not on purpose. Accidentally, I was riding an ATV for the first time, and I was in a wooded field with trees all over the place. And I was so far ahead of my friend at the time that I turned around to laugh at him, and then I turned back and I turned back again, and I had to make a split-second decision between crashing into a tree and trying to jump off. So I jumped off of the ATV. The problem was that some of the toes on my left foot stayed on the pedal until I was able to pull them off after the crash. I'm still in pain from that to this day, and that was 22 years ago. I don't know. I'm bad at math. I hate math. I think math is a conspiracy. Well, everything is now, but I think math is. Especially algebra. Because if numbers are infinite, then what the fuck do you need letters for? Was algebra invented just to make everybody as miserable and bitter as the person who invented algebra was? To hell with algebra. I hope algebra falls off a cliff. Like Thelma and Louise fell off the Grand Canyon. But no. I think that's basically all I have to ramble about right now. I could talk about Joe Biden, but then we'd be here for hours crying with laughter until we die from dehydration, because we're fucked, guys.